All right, hey, we want to talk about spring. It has sprung, right? So this past weekend, it did actually mark the beginning of spring. So for a lot of folks, that means it's time for some spring cleaning. And you might be thinking at home, where do I even begin? Before you have a panic attack, take a deep breath. You'll want to listen to this next segment because joining us this morning is Lauren Van Sickle. She's from Closets by Design. Lauren, good morning to you. You know, we've got so much to talk about, so little to talk about it. So I want to dive right into our conversation. Since you're from Closets by Design, let's start in that part of the house. I look at my closet and I feel completely overwhelmed. Where do you say we start?
Well, I think the change of season is always the perfect time to clean out your closet. You know, everything's kind of, you do an assessment because you can look at the clothes from the winter and say, have I worn this? Have I not worn this? It's a good time to kind of go through and just pull out and make some tough decisions. What I do is I have a bag that I always keep in a spare closet. And if I pull out something and I realize once or twice I've thought about wearing it and I choose not to because I don't think it fits me great, or I don't like the way I look in it, or maybe it has a little tear in it, or then, you know, that goes into the giveaway bag. And it sits there. So in case I change my mind, I can get it back. But by the end of the season, I'm taking those bags to a local charity so that they can be reused by people who will enjoy them.
Do you have to be brutal about the edit?
A little bit. Sometimes it takes a good girlfriend to come over and help you out a little bit. But
Good idea. Yeah. Good idea. Employee help. I want to move on to the pantry, Lauren, because that's another thing. You know, so many of us have been at home. So many of us are doing more home cooking. And I just went on a Costco run, and there's stuff everywhere.
Yes. Well, again, change of season is such a great time to tackle the pantry because, you know, the way we cook changes. We're going from like stews and chili and soups to like barbecues and salads. So that's when I kind of go in there and take a look. And you know, what's wonderful about having a pantry system is that everything's sort of sectionalized for you. So it's really easy to organize like your vegetables or your canned goods. So you can kind of tackle it section by section. You know, if there's things that you haven't used for the season, again, give them to a food pantry and then replace those things with items, you know, so you're ready to, you know, have company come over on the next weekend.
The other thing too is, boy, we got to go through and get all the expired stuff out of there, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Well, my kids come home from school and, you know, I don't cook the way I do when I'm home alone, like as I do when they're here visiting. So they'll come in and they catch me a few times like, Mom, how long has this been in here?
Yeah, I bet. I bet. I want to move to the garage because that feels very daunting as well. What would be the most important thing most important piece of advice you'd give us? Should we get some of these systems where we can hang things on the wall and get them off the floor? Or what would you suggest? Where would we start?
Absolutely. The garage is a game changer because a lot of us come in and out of our homes that way. So first of all, putting some cabinets up and categorizing them. So you have your sports equipment in one cabinet, you know, gardening equipment in another, auto care in another. It just keeps you so organized and makes it easy to get tasks done. And then big things like bikes, you know, ladders. It's so nice to have a really pretty slat wall system where it just hangs up on the wall and it's just grab and go whenever you need it.
And then imagine us being able to park the car in the garage. That would be amazing.
It turns that you suddenly have another room in your home you didn't even realize.
Lauren Van Sickle from Closets by Design. Thank you so much for the good advice. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.